So what if burnout isn't a breakdown and isn't something that's happening to you, but in actual fact it's happening for you? It's like a doorway to a deeper path, a more fulfilling path. For me, my experience years ago, I kept suffering from burnout, and I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, God Almighty, what is wrong with you, Jamie? Um, I thought it was a very individual thing, and I thought, yeah, there was something physically wrong with me. Um, in particular, I'm remembering when I was running my social media agency, which, I'll be honest, it didn't really light me up. I kind of got into the business because I felt like, oh, it's an opportunity, which a lot of us do as entrepreneurs. We kind of see, oh, there's an opportunity to make money. There's an opportunity to do something creative. But we perhaps don't challenge ourselves in terms of the fulfillment. And what I found in terms of running that agency is I found that I was almost selling myself in service to others, where if I did good work, they didn't necessarily want to say, hey, Jamie, you did great work, because, well, that perhaps would allow me to up my rates. So I kind of found myself in this constant grinder of working for a client, not necessarily being told you're doing a great job, being almost kept in my place, and it just repeating monthly. I was tied into this idea that like a monthly retainer was a fantastic thing. And it can be in some regards. It can also be like a pair of handcuffs in others. Anyway, a little bit of an over-the-top explanation into that space, but it is important because I think a lot of us do get into different businesses, ventures, even relationships for some good reasons, but perhaps we don't think things through. And I think the confrontation of like those good things not seeing us through completely and us actually being met with more bad things than good things, oftentimes is burnout. You know, we kind of have this bias that we've worked on something so much, we don't want to give up. We want to just keep going. And that's quite a societal thing. So many of us just keep going. We feel we'll work through our problems. We'll work through issues. If it's tough, that's fine. We'll just put our heads down and keep going. And burnout is almost like this gift in a lot of ways. It definitely doesn't feel like it at the time. But life, well, Steve Jobs said a funny thing, that life just makes all the more sense when you look back and connect the dots. And it is true that like, if I didn't spectacularly burn out from that agency, it wouldn't have encouraged me to take a more holistic approach to life and understandings. I wouldn't be doing this coaching work. And I absolutely love this coaching work. Like this work lights me up, lights my soul up. It sees me very, very fulfilled. And like, you know, if somebody was to ask, well, Jamie, what's the real catalyst that got you into coaching? It's like burnout, actually. Burnout. And in so much of the work that I do, when I trace back and help people work through their life stories, it's like, well, what was the greatest catalyst for change in your life? It's like burnout. But so many of us think that burnout happens to us and it's so bad. But the fact of the matter is it only comes from perhaps not looking after yourself as well as you should. From perhaps over-involving yourself in things that you shouldn't. And it is this thing that says, you know, as much as you want to keep going here, it's not serving you, so bang, we're going to stop you in your tracks. And we can get frustrated, and like me, I talked about looking in the mirror and questioning myself and being like, what's wrong with me? When in actual fact, it was probably the greatest gift that ever happened to me or for me, right? And I think this is almost indicative of life as a whole, that oftentimes we don't appreciate the things that are benefiting us the most. They might be challenging in the initial sense because, hell, perhaps a disruption is needed. And for so many of us, when it comes to our careers, we do need a disruption. So I think burnout has got a bit of a bad name, a bad rep, and I think it's actually worth reflecting on a little bit differently and perhaps reinterpreting it. You know, if you've suffered the challenges of burnout, perhaps sit with yourself for a moment and reflect back on the past. How were you living? What were you doing? What were you involved in when that burnout came up for you? And in the time that's passed, has it served you? My gut instinct tells me it may have. It may have well. If it's anything like my experience, it really must have. And so I share this as like an encouragement to perhaps look at things a little bit differently. Not just burnout as well. All the challenges that unfold. Oftentimes for us as humans, we learn most in times of challenge. And those learnings then help stand to us going forward from there. They put us on a different trajectory altogether that ultimately speaking, sees us so right. So perhaps you're suffering from burnout right now. And perhaps you're in the same shoes that I was, questioning yourself and wondering, why is this happening to me? And this is just a little bit of a different piece of content to the masses that are out there to encourage you to perhaps look at how might this be happening for you? How might this moment be serving you? What lessons can you take from all the kind of story leading up to now? And if you were to really listen to them, integrate them, and make some good decisions for going forward, how could you turn this moment of burnout around from happening to you to ultimately speaking happening for you? Sit with it. I really hope this serves you well, because this is a video I wished I saw 10 years ago. And I wished I met those times with this attitude, because I beat myself up for years, and I would hate that to be the case for you. I actually really, really hope that this is an epiphany moment for you. This is a really exciting change of perspectives for going forward. So please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.